record. Okay. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Okay, so we go to Photoshop, open, and we go to our AR file, and we click open. So it brings up a dialog box. You want to choose your line drawing, and we want to crop it to your trim box, just so we keep things nice and neat. And everything else is happy days. So now you get to this section. Sorry, I'm just setting up my chat window so I can make sure I get all of your notes and stuff. Okay, so the first tool or place that we're going to work on is your layers. Go to your layers, and again, like you say, give it a name. I'm calling it Monster Line. Now we're going to create a new layer. That new layer is we just put in a white block on it. So you go into your paint bucket, make sure that your swatch is on white and click on white. Go back to your cursor, drag that layer behind. And let's call this background. Easy peasy. That's not even the lesson. That's that you have to do before you get to the lesson. Okay, so now I'm looking at that and I'm going to start, I want to start painting it in Photoshop instead of in Adobe Illustrator. So where we start first, or how I start first, is I'm looking to replicate that. So I'm now in Photoshop, and I'm going to now choose my pen tool. It's pen tool. It is what it is. You have been using it in Illustrator. I click on it, and what you may have happen is you don't have this joiny line that's there, yeah? I want you to click on that toolbox there, and I want you to click rubber band. The reason why we use rubber band is because it shows you how you are drawing as you're drawing it, okay? So now we've got the pen tool selected. How I usually go is I go and find a sharp point, because then you can click, you don't have to click and drag. You create a sharp point, and I click and I drop the node, and I go there again, and I click and I draw, and I click and I draw. And what we're trying to do is, as accurately as possible, is to trace your black line that you've already got. Now guys, this is a very slow, initially for you guys it's going to be slow. I am a little bit faster than you, well, because I've been doing it for 20 years. I hope I'm a lot faster than you. Now, it probably, you see there, I got a mistake. I go back to my history and I remove that anchor point. You are going to have to go forwards and backwards to make sure that you get it as accurately as possible. There is something else that will help you, and I'll explain it to you right now after I finish this. I've drawn the first line. You have to make sure that you're going from beginning to end, yeah, in a full circle. If you go down to here, this is your direct selection tool, exactly the same as Illustrator. The black one is for everything, and the white one is for individual nodes. Now, if we go look at my layers, I've got a line there. If I click on my parts, I can click off. It's a work part currently, off and on. We double click. We want to save this first, part one. So let's call this Monster Outline. Make sure that we know what we're dealing with. Now that we've got this, we can click on it, go to our layers, click that layer, and we can go in and we can make sure, you see there I've gone off. And we make sure that we go a little bit out. And I just make sure that I clean up my line individually. There, the curve is too much. So I pull in the arms just a little bit. And I make my line as pretty as possible. The aim of this is to use as few nodes as you possibly can. So that one we don't want. So click on my pen tool, pen minus, and it's deleted. Go back to my selection.
Ja,
And we
ek
select.
weet nie maar so right.
Who's having a nice
Ek
conversation?
dink is nog volk in die kar.
Mel, are you having a conversation, yeah? Okay, and we slowly go around, we make sure that it's all as perfect and as beautiful as we can. Okay, so now once you have that, we've checked on our parts. In actual fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my parts in my layers just to make life easier. Okay. Yes. Okay, so there's my layer, background, monster line, there's my path, it's been saved. Okay, now let's go back to our layers. Let's make a new layer. The reason why I'm making a new layer is I don't want to affect my background, the white, and I don't want to affect the line. Okay, what I am wanting to do is I'm wanting to create its own thing. So now I go to parts, now that I've saved that, and I click on those 3 little lines, or 4 lines if I see it, and I go make selection. You click make selection and it says feather radius. I always put my feather radius at 0.2 pixels. If you go 0, it sticks on pixels and it becomes quite jagged. 0.2 allows it to overcut pixels just a little bit. And I click OK. Now you see that there's a little brokey line around bouncing, yeah? That's what we call a mask. So basically what we have done now, if I click off that, if I go to, now I'm going to go to my Illustrator file and I want to use that green. Got that green there, I go to my swatch, I double click on the swatch, I get the code, I highlight the code, Control C, Photoshop, click on there, and I put the code in there, Control V. And it gives me the green that I've been looking for, yeah? Then I go to my fill tool, paint bucket. Now with this mask, if I try and mask, if I try and fill color outside of it, it won't allow me to, yeah? Remember I'm on the new layer, but inside, booyah! What the hell?
That's a vacuum.
Mel, are you doing housework at the same time? Okay. Do you understand what we've just done? Ria, have you followed? The video will be available on YouTube to follow again. Okay? Besejo, how are you doing? You look very worried. You need to talk to me. You can use the chat function or talk.
I think I'll just follow it via YouTube. Meanwhile, I'm doing it at the same time because right now I cannot do it at the same time as so, yeah.
That's exactly why the YouTube is there, huh? It's exactly why the YouTube is there. I'm walking you through the steps and I'm recording it and I've saved it up to the YouTube and you can follow again on YouTube and it will make sure that you can go step by step slowly with me. How's everybody else doing? Nobody having problems?
Everyone's okay, I think.
Ryan's okay. Mel, you're okay. Ozzy, you're okay.
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. Dean, you're okay. Marcus, you're okay.
Yeah.
Nick, you're fine.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm good, thanks.
Who's that?
It's Marcus.
Is that Marcus? Dean,
Yeah.
you okay?
Yep.
Hear from Dean, he's the quietest guy on the planet. So now I've filled it in. You can see what we're doing here already. Oh, now I'm going to make those little spotty lines go away. I press Control D, Command D, and it's gone. So now I can see the color, I can see what I'm doing, all lekker cool, and it's happy days. Oh God, excuse me, people, excuse me. Okay, so we've got happy days, but that's not even remotely as far as you want to go. So now I'm giving that monster body. So I know what it is. I'm going to create a new layer. Now it's another free layer, and I'm going to focus on the shadow next. So I go shadow, boom, go to my pen tool, and now I go check at my reference. This dark green here is my shadow. This is what I want to do next. And these dots, and the eye, and under the eye, and under the mouth. And I want to try and do it in one go. So check. So now I go find what I'm going to do. I'm on my individual layer. And you can start wherever you want. It's not important which shape you start on. But there's the one shadow. And it's the exact same process. What we're doing now, instead of having one path, we are not even saving the path just yet. We're going to get all the paths and all the shapes. We're going to basically trace. And I'm tracing that line as accurately as I can. Because remember, we can always go back with our direct select tool. And we can fix these lines if they are not exactly the way we want them. And remember, it is a slow process. Be patient. This is usually, if I'm doing this stuff, I usually put on my music. And I kind of log out of the world. And I just get into doing this. Because if you can get this as accurately and as neat as possible, it will make all further work so much better. Okay, so we've got that shape done. Now we're doing the circles. You see how I do a circle? It's just 2 nodes. It's not 4 nodes. Oh, see, I screwed up already. Okay. Come back again. In fact, I've heard that you can do it with 1 node, but I don't know. I've never attempted it.
Come up with chicken.
So how has everybody's isolation been the last weekend?
Boring, boring, and boring.
Boring. Dude, I love it.
I went out. I hate it.
I went to go play
Of
golf.
course, you love it, Alex.
Yeah, I never have to leave. I never have to talk to anybody.
Sounds boring.
I went to go play golf. No one was on the golf course. Okay, so you check there. There's a problem with that. Who's having an argument there?
I think it's Mel.
Nah, that's Dean.
No, it's not me.
He doesn't talk, eh?
It's Melanie. She
Yeah,
should
Mel's
mute
doing
herself.
housework and okay, so you see what I've done? I've just gone back now again and I've tried to make sure that all of my this is what we call etching. All my etching is nice and neat, or my path work is nice and neat. Okay, still haven't finished, but so now I've got my work path there. I haven't saved it. We double click on it again, and I shadow. I'm calling it shadow. But now I've realized, oh, with my shadow, I didn't do underneath his mouth, and I didn't do under his eye, and I didn't do his eyelid. With it selected, you can go with your pen tool again. Okay, we're going to have to stop in 3 minutes, otherwise it's going to kick me off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break the meeting, and then I'm going to immediately come back again. Okay, there's that one. In fact, I'm going to push it. I'm going to see how far I can go before it kicks me out. It will kick me out. I'm seeing if I can get this done. Okay, and there's under his eye. But I do want, when we get kicked out, I want you guys to be immediately available. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to recreate a meeting and we're going to carry on. But I want to get this lesson down. Okay, so there we go. Remember, we didn't even add that on in the first time, so we put in this as an afterthought, and it still catches. Yeah, so let's go to our parts. Shadow still works. So now we've got our own layer selected above monster body, layer selected below monster line. I then click on shadow, click on the lines, and I go make selection. Point 2, boom, looking lacquer. I see it's collected everywhere. And now I want to go get this color now again. I double click on that to get the color, highlight the code, come back, I paste in the code, it gives me the correct color. I use the paint box and I fill. Check. Now you can click off the lines, you can start seeing the shape happening without the black lines. With the black lines, without the black lines. And there's without the shadow, with the shadow, without the body, with the body. Yeah? So we are getting resejo focus. Yeah, you see, I can now watch.
Sorry.
Yeah, drifting lacquer. Okay, so what you have there is the beginning of your little monster key. Why Photoshop is good. So now, let's go to the shadow. I want to do a little bit of, how would we add the black lines if we wanted them? What, you want to add the black lines in, well, your black lines should be there from when you brought them in from Illustrator. Remember in Illustrator you have that version. And that version is the lines that we've just opened up in Photoshop. That's that. What we're doing is we're tracing all the shapes. If you want to then add the black lines at the end, they're there, we just have to work with them. Does that answer your question, Marcus?
It does.
It does. Okay, and remember we're going very slowly, we're making sure that what we're doing, if this means that we actually have to take 2 weeks to do this lesson instead of 4 hours, we do it. It's not a problem. Okay. But now have a look here. So I click on the shadow layer, and then I hold my command key down and I over the canvas thingy and I click. It will select it. Yeah? It's a little shortcut. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating a new layer and I'm going to say Alex Fun. Just for the purposes of this, I go to my paint tool. Check it this. So my paintbrush. Over there it tells you paintbrush. It tells you the size of the paintbrush, which you can change as you want. Mode, normal, you can choose different ways of painting. Opacity, I've got it currently on 24. You can go all the way up to 100%, but I like painting light and painting more. Okay, the flow, leave it at 100% for the time being. You can choose airbrush or non-airbrush. I like using airbrush personally. Okay, smoothing, 10%, fine. If you click off airbrush, it tends to go more. If you go on smoothing, it tends to go a little bit less. Nothing else, blah, blah, blah. There on my new layer, Alex Fun. I then click on the swatch because I want to go slightly darker. Check them out different in colors. Cool. Now we zoom all the way in. Remember, we've got this mask, so I can't paint anywhere. I can only paint inside. Let me increase this so you see it easier. You see, I can go put a big line across and it'll only go over the areas that we've got it open, unmasked. And now what I can do is I can add a little bit of coolness. There. Maybe a little bit of there. Maybe a little bit of there. And what we're actually doing very simply is we're painting it. You see, so we've got a very slight gradient now between just normal filling in with the paint tool, and then we take a little bit of paintbrush and we make it a little bit sexy. We can have some fun, and you use the blur tool. See, you see that there's a very strong bold line between the two. Check. Now I use the blur tool, and it's blurring that edge. It blurs that edge just a little. And it makes that line less chunky. Okay. Boom. It's all on its own layers, which means that we can edit them as we want to go. But we do the exact same thing on all the shapes. So you etch the mouth out. You etch the mouth out and you drop in black behind it. And then you change that in there, you put the teeth white. You want to slowly but surely add more and more layers and add more and more depth. I mean, look here, for example, I've selected that monster there. I'm still in Alex Fun because it's just a crappy layer that I'm playing with. I've already got a nice light green there. Let's go to a nice big size. I like going lower. And you can create further paint techniques. And you layer your paint techniques over and over and over, more and more. And what that does is it will give depth to your character. Okay. What I'm going to have you do now is I'm going to stop this meeting. I'm going to upload the video to YouTube. I want you guys to start working on your monster. I'm going to give you an hour. So that means at 2:30, I'm going to come back on again. If you have any questions between now and then, find me on the WhatsApp group and chat so everybody can hear what your questions are. And if we need to come on earlier, we can always log in earlier, okay? But I want you to give it a go. Just maybe do your background. Do another 1 or 2 shapes there so we can see what it is that you're doing and that you've got an understanding of what it is, so that when you're doing your homework, which will be to finish your monster as a pixel art, we're ready to go. Okay. Everybody, type yes into the chat section so I know that you've all understood me and got me. Ryan, Nick, Marcus, Ozzy, Rhea, Rusejo, you don't have chat. Okay, Melanie, Jamie, Dean, Nichelle, Mel. That's us. I'm going to log off. I'm going to load up this video. I will load the link to this video as well. So in case you need to watch it. But there is already from the last, yeah. Okay, we're done. the link that I've already sent you is the last class's version. So you can see that directly now. Okay. Goodbye. Speak to you soon.